Hello, welcome back to Life Enrichment with Hank Ballinger. Today I want to ask an odd question. Most people would say, I know the answer to this question. What is money? Now, most of us would say, well, I know what money is. It's those little green pieces of paper. I take that stuff and I buy stuff. Is this money? Some people would say, well, this is money. My checkbook is money. My debit card is money. My credit cards, it's all money. I can buy stuff with all of that. Though that's true, what is really the definition of money? Why is this any different than this? Why does this buy stuff and this doesn't? We're going to look at that today. From the people that's in the know, they say money has characteristics to it. And some of those characteristics is they say money has to be durable. Money has to be divisible. Money has to be portable, recognizable, storehouse of value, limited quantity. It has to be fungible. It has to be non-counterfeitable, and it has to be a medium of exchange. Now, as we look at this is quite a list, and you might could add some other characteristics to money, or maybe take some of these out if you don't like them. But we're going to look at the money system that we've had throughout time. Now, years ago, before they had coinage, or coins, and before they had the paper dollars, people used to operate on a barter system. Now, when I talk about the barter system, I like to say that a pig equals 10 chickens. Meaning, when we were under the barter system, if someone had a pig, they could trade that pig and its value was about 10 chickens. Now, that's not a specific amount, because when pork goes up, and a lot of people decide, hey, we want to eat a lot of pork, then the value of a pig may be 20 chickens. But then when everybody leaves pork and goes over to chickens, then it may only take 5 chickens to buy one hog. So the barter system, just like all monetary systems, it fluctuates, it goes up and down. But let's look at the barter system. We're going to look at the barter system: gold and silver, certificates, checks, money backed by gold, and currency backed by our government. And then last but not least, the central bank digital currency, or the CBDC. And then we're going to look at all those systems and see which of these characteristics each system has. Now, during the barter system, if I had a pig and you had 10 chickens, we may say, hey, I may say, hey, I need some chickens. And so I may come and I say, I tell you, I say, I will give you a pig and you give me 10 chickens and we'll trade. And you say, well, I'm needing a pig, so we do the trade. I give you the pig, you give me the 10 chickens. But let's see if the barter system meets all of this criteria. Now, the barter system, if I have a pig or chickens, are they durable? Fairly, and some might argue to the negative, but they're fairly durable. Are they divisible? Meaning, if I took my pig to town and I bought some vegetables, can I slice off a part of that pig? Because I'm not going to trade a whole pig for a few vegetables for dinner. But can I slice off a part of that pig and give it for the vegetables? No. So it's not very divisible. Is it portable? Meaning, can I take that pig everywhere I go, so that if I want to buy something, I have a pig available to trade for that goods or service? Not very portable. Recognizable. Is a pig or chicken recognizable? Yes. Is it a storehouse of value? Some may argue, but I have it here. Probably not a storehouse of value. Limited quantity. Yeah, it's probably limited quantity. There's only so many hogs. Now, fungible. What is fungible? It's a fun word, but what does it mean to say something is fungible? That means if something, a dollar bill, has $1 worth of value here, It has a dollar's worth of value anywhere in America and anywhere in the world. That's fungible. It has the same value no matter where you're at. So if something is fungible, it has the same value no matter where it's at. Uncounterfeitable. So if something is not easily duplicated, you can't counterfeit it. Now, what about the barter system? Hogs, chickens, it's hard to duplicate that. So the median of exchange. So when I look at the barter system, I would say it fits number 1, it fits number 4, it fits number 6, and number 8, and number 9. But it doesn't fit all of those. Next, we go to gold and silver. Mankind started trading in gold, silver. A problem with that is after a while, they started realizing if they could clip off a corner of one coin, then they could clip off a corner of the next coin, and they kept doing that. Eventually, they would have enough small clippings to equal the value of another coin. And then the next person realized, well, if he clipped off a corner, I want to clip off a corner. So eventually, the coins got to be so small, they wasn't sometimes even 1/10 of the coin they used to be. So gold and silver is and has been part of our monetary system for about 5,000 years. That's a long time, but let's see, is it durable? Yes, it's very durable. Is it divisible? No, not very divisible. If you have a 1 ounce piece of a 1 ounce coin today of gold, it's worth almost $1,900. But if you take it to Walmart and say, I want to buy a candy bar, it's going to be a little hard to do that trade. And is the cashier going to know how to give you change back for that? A little bit hard to be divisible. Portable, it's very portable. Recognizable, it's recognizable. Is it a storehouse of value? Yes. Is it limited quantity? Yes. Is it fungible? Yes, anywhere in the world. Non-counterfeitable? Yes. And is it a median of exchange? Yes. Now, what banks used to do, because gold is heavy, so if I wanted to buy maybe 100 chickens from you, and I wanted to bring enough gold, well, that gold was going to be heavy. If it's very far from where I am to you, it's going to be hard for me to take all that gold. So what people started doing after the gold system became popular, if I placed a bunch of my gold in this bank, rather than carry all of that gold down here to where you are with the chickens, I would just get a piece of paper from my bank called a certificate, and that certificate said that I had enough gold in this bank, and this bank backed this certificate, and all I would have to do then, rather than carry all that gold down to where you're at to get those chickens, I would then bring a piece of paper to you, and then I would sign that piece of paper or that certificate over to you. And now you have that certificate and that value, and you have a claim to that gold in that bank. And I didn't have to take that gold from my bank to your bank. I just had to have that certificate. But is that certificate durable, divisible? Does it fit all of these characteristics? It is portable. That was the drawing card of the certificates. It was portable. It was recognizable. It had a storehouse of value. It wasn't limited quantity. They could make however many they needed. It wasn't really fungible because if someone says, well, I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm not accepting that. Then it didn't have any value. It was counterfeitable, and especially today with our printing presses and our copy machines, we could probably counterfeit that. So was it a medium of exchange? Yes. So when we look at this and we say, was a certificate a type, a form of money, meaning could we exchange it? And that's what the idea of money is. You exchange it for goods and services. Something that you can exchange for goods and services. Now, the check system. Now, a lot of people write checks today, and a lot of people actually think that I can't be out of money. I have more checks. And as long as I have checks, I can keep buying stuff. Not necessarily true. But our checks, the checks fit all of these. Is it portable? Yes. They're not very durable. They get wet. You could lose them. Are they divisible? Not really. They're portable. They're recognizable. They don't fit a lot of these, but they are a medium of exchange, meaning I can transfer through that check system money from my bank to your bank. Now, I want to get to the money, the monetary system that we are used to. Money backed by gold. In 1944, America called a bunch of countries, 44 countries, to a place in New Hampshire called Bretton Woods. And we had the Bretton Woods Agreement. And we actually, America at that time, got in our currency, we held what's called the World Reserve Currency. Our currency had that status, meaning our currency is what the rest of the world backed the value and all the trade of their currency by our currency. But the trade-off for that was our currency had to be backed by gold. Now, if something is backed by gold, it's not really currency, it's considered money. If it's backed by gold or oil or some commodity or something of equal value to that money, it's then considered money. So from 1944, when we got the World Reserve Currency, to 1971, our money, our paper system was backed by gold. So therefore it was money. Now, let's look at all of these 9 characteristics. Was it durable? Because it was backed by gold? Yes. Was it divisible? Yes. Actually, our monetary system fit all 9 of these characteristics. Was it a storehouse of value? Not the piece of paper, but the fact that the piece of paper was backed by gold gave it a storehouse of value. And was it limited quantity? Yes, because we could only print the amount of pieces of paper that had gold to back it. And gold was about $35 per ounce. Meaning, if I took $35 before 1971, if I took $35 into a bank and I said, I want an ounce of gold, they would then have to give me an ounce of gold for that $35. But on August the 15th, 1971, President Nixon took our money off of the gold standard. Our money, our monetary system is no longer backed by gold. And to be honest, I don't think that there is a monetary system in the world today that is backed by gold. It's all what's called fiat currency. A currency, a monetary system that's not backed by anything, it's called fiat currency. Now, what that means is that our government says this is worth $1. It's not backed by gold or oil or any other commodity. Our government says this is worth $1 and everybody has to accept it as being worth $1. That's why it says this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. By it saying that, you have to accept it, I have to accept it. So now we have currency. When it's backed by a commodity or backed by gold or something like that, it's money. When it's not, it's currency or fiat currency. Now, let's look at fiat currency. It fits 1 through 4, but it is not a storehouse of value. It is not limited quantity. If you look at what's happened since 2008 and 9 in America and around the world, they've done what's called quantitative easing. Now, that's just a big polysyllabic way to say they have printed a lot of money that's backed by nothing except the government's promise that it's worth the amount it says on the face. It's worth face value. So our currency doesn't fit all of these. Now, what's interesting about all of these systems, though, the only one that fits all of them is our monetary system when it's backed by gold. Interesting thing about this, all of these are still monetary systems. So a monetary system doesn't have to hit every one of these. It doesn't have to have all of these characteristics, but what it does have to do is it is something that you can exchange for goods and services. Okay, now you could have a barter system. We might eventually go back to that. Now let's look at one other thing before I end this podcast. What is a CBDC? Now we've looked at several different types of currencies or money systems, but what is a CBDC? That is a central bank digital currency. Now, what is that? If you go to the bank today and buy a house, when you buy that house, the seller, let's say you buy that house for $100,000, the seller of that house, because of what you give him on the down payment and the bank gives him when he sells that, the bank may give him $80,000 and you put $20,000 down, but in the seller's bank account, he's going to get $100,000. But he don't get 100,000 of these green pieces of paper. What he gets is 100,000 digital dollars. It's just digits in a bank account. Now, our government is looking at going to a central bank digital currency, which means everybody's accounts, everybody's money will then be put on an account at the Federal Reserve. Now, we're not going to get deep into that. I just want you to know that that may be coming, and it may be coming sometimes this year. The central bank digital currency is supposed to roll out in July of 2023. Now, would it be a monetary system? Would it be money? Yes. Would it hit every one of these? No. No, it will not. But would it be a monetary system? Yes. Don't be alarmed by it. I encourage you to study it. Maybe watch some podcasts on it. We're not going into depth here. But always realize that there could be a different type of system than what we now have. Money, what is money? It is merely something that you can exchange for goods and services. Now, if you want to become redneck rich, you need to learn what money is. It's an exchange for goods and services.